Hi, this is Crystal Calhoun with Made to Be Unique, and I wanted to talk today about logos and logo branding. I have a lot of clients that contact me for logo designs, and it's because they realize the importance of having a logo as a business. Logos are great for branding your image in people's minds. It helps them remember you a lot better. We'll just explore some familiar logos such as the Starbucks or Wendy's, Apple. And notice that like right here it shows the different Apple logos over time. That's not how they what they have now isn't what they've always had. It has changed over time. Same with Coca-Cola if you look over here. So many times logos will change, and usually it's not very dramatic. It's not usually a very big change, and it's not really recommended to do a big change, but sometimes big changes are a good step forward if the original logo didn't represent the company very well or the product very well, and so they had to rethink the logo. A lot of logos these days are going to a lot more flat and strong design, very clear. They want it to be clear and memorable, whereas in older times it might have been much more decorative. You see the tilt on here, and then the edging over here creates a little bit of conflict. It's a lot more memorable when it's a solid, clean design. Even Google changed to something more solid and clean. So these companies have experimented over the years to see what works best, what imprints best on people's minds and their memory of that company. Let's look a little bit at the different changes that they've had. But normally companies do not change their logo, at least not a lot. It could be over like the past several years, like 5 years or something, that you'll notice a change, or 10 years if it's a very established company. They might progress over a long span of time, but usually I don't really recommend logo changes unless necessary, and sometimes it's necessary. But really, if you keep a consistent logo, it helps people remember you and recommend you. So, and that's something that you want. You want to imprint, as a business, you want to imprint you in their minds. These are a few logos I've designed over the years. I have more, but I just haven't put them on my site. But let's just review them really quickly. Over here, the client wanted to have a tree with some butterflies and then some script for the text. This is one of my hobby websites from the Oregon Trail, and in the beginning I wanted to use a snake because I had the concept of, there's snakes on the grass and, along the way on the path to Oregon Trail. Anyway, it's a long story, but that was the original idea, and that's one logo I'm strongly considering changing myself to something that applies more towards the Oregon Trail, like maybe a bull or something for oxen and a wheel instead of the circle. Really like this Piccadilly logo. It's very simple, it's very clear, and I like that a lot. And it's bright too. It gives me a happy feeling because of the bright blue. Over here with the Cornerstone Multimedia, you'll notice it has the audio bar chart, and then it's a cornerstone, so it's tilted down, and over here is the artist's signature. His signature was used as a logo. So there's different things that you can do as a logo designer. You can use some pre-made logo designs such as the Chico Electronics. That consisted of 2 pre-made logo designs that the client was interested in using, the happy guy with the poncho hat, and then the laptop, because he was selling electronics in a more Mexican area, and so he wanted to get their colors and something that they're comfortable with and they enjoy. So that's what he did, and it was just a very smart move, I thought. And it kind of looked like the owner too. It was a great move, I thought. And so logos can be as simple as an image, or it can use graphics. It all depends on the client and on the products they're selling too. So let's look over here. Here's some templates from, it's called graphicriver.net. If you're interested in getting a template, here's one of the resources, places that sell templates. The good thing about a template logo is that it saves a lot of time, and then you have a really good looking logo. I mean, one that you find that you enjoy. And they just make it really easy to create a logo like that. But the bad thing is that other people get it too. Some of the logo templates enable you to purchase a complete license so that other people are enabled to buy that same logo design, but it might be around $1,000 some rather than like $30. So you have to decide if you're okay with sharing the same logo design, such as this lion head here. There's going to be more with these 128 cells. Now, it's very unlikely, I mean, unless you're selling the same exact product, it's very unlikely that people are going to come across this same exact logo. And many times people will want to have the logo, the text, like on a different, in a different area. We'll go here, for example. Like, let's say we purchased this lion head logo template, and the client, instead of having the text on the bottom, maybe the client wanted to have the text on to the right of the lion head. So you can use this logo, or also there's another place such as Creative Market where you can get find some logo templates. This one I found today, it was actually free, because they have some really cute little designs that you can use for a logo. These little symbols, you can put text to the side or underneath or above, you decide, but you have a logo license, which is usually more expensive. Logo licenses, for the most part, usually cost more money than just a standard. And so these ones were free, although it might not be free tomorrow. This might just be a today freebie, just to get you to look around the site. So let me show about like how I did this. Piccadilly is very simple. This just gives you an idea of how simple creating logo designs can be. Now, sometimes it's not very simple, especially if you have a client that doesn't like it exactly that way and they want to change things. So, you know, if you're working as a logo designer, just expect there's going to be changes. It's not it's not often that you get it right the first time. You got to make changes, whether it be the font or the colors or the layout or whatever. You know, just expect changes if you're going to be a professional logo designer. But let's go ahead and explore some of the easy ways of putting logos together. And an idea you can do, if you don't want a logo, if you don't want to go with a logo template, you can either create your own shapes using Photoshop, or you can find shapes that are for free, like in Piccadilly. These are free. I fell in love with this website. I thought it was so wonderful. But these you can use in logo designs as well, because they're free for commercial use, which is so wonderful. See, let's see. We got these butterfly wings. Excuse me, my voice is going out. So let's say we use these butterfly wings and we just added them to the text right next to the side of them. Or let's say I was going to change the bull on my my Surviving the Oregon Trail website, and we wanted to use a bull instead of a snake. We can I just typed up the word bull in vector graphics. Also, I did a let's see, not that one, oh, right here. I did transparent and black and white. That helps. So you can, these are free for download, and so I went ahead and I downloaded some. And I'll go ahead and open it up. This is a screenshot of my Surviving the Oregon Trail website that I'm considering changing the logo for. And this is just an idea. Oh, here, I'll show you real briefly here. This was the Burger King when they first were in business. And that was their logo design in the very beginning, and then this is the current logo as I understand it, which I think is a good change and what we are more familiar with. Logos made quite a few changes over time. You can do a Google search and find all the neat different logo changes. Those are just a couple. So anyway, let's go ahead. I downloaded this free bull shape, and I'm going to just drag it over here. I think this really might apply a lot better than my snaky. So I grabbed the corners and I dragged them, you know, to have an equal size when I go down and I resize it. I'm going to create a background here with using a shape just so it kind of drowns out the surviving the Oregon Trail text. These are things you don't need to be concerned about. Okay, so now we have a bull instead of a snake, and what we need now is text. So let's create some text. That's white. Let's change the color. Oop. So you can change the size by grabbing the corners, or you can change the size over here in the font area. Let's do 70. Let's zoom in. Let's say I wasn't too happy with the black because I wanted to match my current design. We're going to rasterize this image. Now it makes it more easy to edit, and then your layer styles will come up. And then you can do a color overlay. Let's just say I'm going to select some colors from the current website. I like this blue, or we could use the brown. I think the brown works a bit better. Let's just go with a brown, and we can play with the blending mode so we can get some of that that back. There we go. That one works too. Screen. So that was the black and there's the brown. The brown works really well for me. Let's go back to the surviving and we'll choose a different font. I think that one's too skinny. Now I really recommend for logo designs that you use a strong, thick, bold font, or at least one that's very easy to read, very clear. Like that would not be a good logo. I don't think that's a good logo font. That one might be if it was cleaned up. Let's see if we spread it out some. No. It's okay. We'll go with this for now and we'll explore. It takes see, the thing with logo designs is that they take a long time to get just right. It really, really does. Whether it's moving things around or getting the right colors, it takes a long time to get things perfect. And so you just, I mean, you got to be patient with graphic design. You just got to be patient, really. Double click on the inside. Okay, so there we go. That could be used as a logo. I can also create like a border around a circle, like let's just say I wanted to put a wheel behind the bull. We can start with an ellipse tool, and I'm going to hold the shift key down and drag, and that'll create an even circle. I'm going to pull that down below the bull, and I'm going to give it an outline using a stroke. I'm going to change the color of that stroke. If you want to change the size of the stroke, then let's change the size this way. I'm not crazy about it yet. It's kind of like a target in a way. Well, it hasn't arrived, but that really wasn't a long time to change. Now let's just see like a before and after, even that short time that I put that together. Parts. Oops. I'm gonna hide that. So that was the previous, that's a current. It's all right, you know, okay. So solid fonts I would recommend. Although let's say you were selling makeup, you might consider using excuse me, you might consider using some curly fonts as long as they're still readable, and then some solid fonts, like if you have a long name, like the down here, the subtitle or the logos, the slogan could be in an easy to read font, and this could be like more curly-ish. Let's see. Spacey. Way too curly. Scriptina. Scriptina is a very, very, very popular font. I've had some clients want to use that one. It might be a little bit overused because it's so pretty. Okay, so there you go with creating logo designs. You just a lot of going back and forth and testing to see what works. As far as a professional logo designer and doing that for services, you'll have to figure out what is the right size for your logo, where your client wants to use the logo, because sometimes the logo size will be much different. It's a different size for like a website use versus like a social media use, or putting on a t-shirt. Like if a person wanted to use their new logo design on a t-shirt, it would be a lot larger than if you used a logo for like a web design. So you'll need to figure out, and there are some documentations on what are some commonly used logo design sizes. When I was designing eBay stores, the most common logo design size at that time was 310 by 90. Okay, let me tell you about the fonts and where you can find some really fun fonts to use. Google Fonts has a lot of free fonts that you're able to use in commercial projects. That means that you can use them as a logo design, and you can search through them. Let's take some of those away. They make it really super easy. You can decide what the thickness is, and it will give you a new list based off of your searches. Just like that. Let's do a width. That limits it too much, apparently. So go ahead and search through Google Fonts. I've found quite a few fonts through there that I really enjoyed. Also, another place that has wonderful fonts is Dafont.com. Now, the only trouble with Dafont.com is that they have a lot of free fonts. However, many of them are not available for commercial use. So you can't use them on a logo design because that would be a commercial use. So right here, you see here, free for personal use. That means don't use this unless you contact this person, this seller, right here. Unless you contact them personally and ask them for permission and you get their permission, then you're not allowed to use this legally. You're not allowed to use their font. Now, they spent the time and sometimes even money as far as like investing in software that helps them to create the font, so we want to respect that, and they are saying this is not for commercial use. However, there's a trick here with Dafont that I've learned. Let's say we'll just go to decorative for now, and then that'll open up some options here for us. Now look here at more options. You want public domain. That means that you can use that. It's free, 100% free. Free for, no, we don't want free for personal use. We just want the 100% free and the public domain. Okay, so let's do a submit. And anything that comes up now I can use as a font. It's free for commercial use, and everything's all good. It's all good. And then you just download, and I have downloaded lots of fonts from Dafont over the past several years. In fact, since I became a web designer and a graphic designer, this has been my go-to place, is Dafont.com. But again, you need to make sure that you go and get the right permissions through the more options. And once you have this little area set up, it'll just follow you. And let's see, you go somewhere else and it will save your settings. See right there, now I still have the public domain and the 100% free selected, so I can use these freely in graphic art and in commercial projects. That includes like t-shirt designs. So here's your fonts, and there's your images if you want to use, or you can create your own using your pencil or your pen tool or your shape tools. There's also the templates, as mentioned before, that you can purchase. That saves a lot of time, but somebody else might have the same design as you. Okay, well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I would love to see some of your work. I'd love to see some of your samples of your logo designs, and I hope you do well. Take care.